I'm Mr. Maths, and today we are looking at conversion factors. This is a topic which is covered mainly in functional skills level 1 and 2. A conversion factor is a number that we use to change from one set of units to another, either by multiplying or dividing. These units are mainly units of measure. Let's go through some conversion factors. With units of measure, there are two main systems, metric and imperial. Now in capacity, the imperial unit of measure would be pints and fluid ounces and gallons. So 1 pint equals 20 fluid ounces. 8 pints equals a gallon. Within the metric system, we have 100 centilitres equals a litre. 1,000 millilitres equals a litre. 1,000 square centimetres equals a litre. And 1,000 litres equals 1 metre squared. Okay, length. Within the imperial system, they have 12 inches equals 1 foot, 3 feet equal a yard, and 1,760 yards equals 1 mile. And in the metric system, we have 10 millimetres equals a centimetre, 100 centimetres equals a metre, 1,000 millimetres equals 1 metre, and 1,000 metres equals 1 kilometre. Now we're looking at weight. In the imperial system, 16 ounces equals a pound, 14 pounds equals 1 stone, 160 stones equals a tonne. Now the metric system, we have 1,000 milligrams equals a gram, 1,000 grams equals a kilogram, and 1,000 kilograms equals a metric tonne, slightly spelt differently there. Now another unit of measure is time. So 1 year equals 365 days. A year also equals 12 months or 52 weeks. 1 week equals 7 days. A day is 24 hours. And an hour equals 60 minutes. And 1 minute contains 60 seconds. Now at level 2, you might be asked to convert between the two systems of measure. So that's between imperial and metric. So here are some of the conversion factors for you to perform that. So 1 inch is 2.5 centimetres. 1 foot is 30 centimetres. 1 metre equals 39 inches. 8 kilometres equals 5 miles. 1 ounce is 25 grams. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. And in capacity, we have 1 litre equals 1 3/4 pints, and a gallon is 4.5 litres. Okay, let's see this in practice now. So rules for converting between units. If going from a large unit to a smaller unit, you always multiply the larger given unit by the conversion factor. Let's give you some examples. So we've got miles to feet here. So there are 5,280 feet in a mile. So let's say we have 2 miles and we want to find out how many feet are in 2 miles. Our conversion factor is 5,280. So the calculation we would make to multiply the larger given unit by the conversion factor. So 2 times 5,280. Now on level 1 functional skills papers, you would have 2 types of paper, and this would probably be on a calculator paper, so you'd have a calculator. So let's calculate this. 2 times 5,280 equals 10,560. 560. So there are 10,560 feet in 2 miles. So let's try miles to inches. This is going to be an even bigger number. So let's say if we convert 3 miles to inches, let's see what we get. So it would be 3 multiplied by the conversion factor. And that conversion factor is 63,360 inches. 63,360 equals, let's get our calculator here, 3 times 63360 equals 190,080. So there are 190,080 inches in 3 miles. Let's do a nice small one now. Feet to inches. Now we're going to see how many inches are in 5 feet. So we multiply the larger unit by the conversion factor. So 5 feet would be 5 times 12. Now if you're familiar with your multiplication, you know that 5 times 12 equals 60. So there are 60 inches in 5 feet. Okay, let's go on to some level 2 type questions where we're converting between different units. This is imperial to metric. So if we're given a set amount of miles, we know that the conversion factor from miles to kilometres is 1.6. So let's give you an example here. So let's say we want to find out how many kilometres is 3 miles. 3 times our conversion factor of 1.6 equals, let's clear our calculator, 3 times 1.6 equals 4.8. 4.8. So there were 4.8 kilometres equals 3 miles. Okay. So our next one, we have meters to inches. So if we're given a set amount of meters and we're going to find out how many inches there are in that, we multiply the meters by our conversion factor, and we know there are 39 inches roughly in a meter. So let's say we're given 5 meters. It would be 5 times the conversion factor, 39. Let's use our calculator. $195. So we know that in 5 meters equals 195 inches. Okay, let's do our last one, and that's feet to centimeters. Now we know there are 30 centimeters in a foot, so let's see what it will be with 3 feet. So we multiply the number given of the larger unit (3 times 30). Some of you won't need a calculator for this, but some would. So clear it off. 3 times 30 equals 90. So we know that in 3 feet equals 90 centimetres. So that's how we go from a larger unit to a smaller unit. We multiply. Okay, now let's see how we convert from a smaller to a larger unit. Now from a smaller to a larger unit, we divide the smaller given unit by the conversion factor. Let's see how this works in practice. Let's take inches to feet. The inches are obviously smaller than feet. There are 12 inches to a foot. So let's see this in practice. Let's see if we're given 48 inches and see how many feet that is. Now, some of you who know your times table will know this already, but I'm going to go through it anyway. So we have 48 inches. So this would be 48 divided by the conversion factor of 12. Let's get a calculator. 48 divided by 12 equals 4. So 4 feet equals 48 inches. Okay? Let's try another one, feet to yards. Now there are 3 feet in every yard. So we're going to see 12 feet now. We're going to divide 12 feet by 3. Now we probably won't need a calculator for this. You probably know this off by heart. So we divide 12 by 3. So 12 divided by 3, which is our conversion factor between feet and yards. And that would equal 4. So there are 4 yards in 12 feet. So let's go from centimetres to metres. Now, we know that the conversion factor is 100. So, if we're given 400 centimetres, we divide it by our conversion factor, which is 100. So 400 divided by 100. You'll probably be able to do this in your head. Equals 4. So 400 centimetres equals 4 metres. Now let's do some converting between systems of unit, between metric and imperial. So our conversion factor from centimetres to inches, we know that 2.5 centimetres equals 1 inch. So if we had 20 centimetres, how many inches would that be? Let's give that a go. So we've got 20 centimetres equals. So it would be 20 divided by our conversion factor of 2.5. Let's use our calculator for that. So 20 divided by 2.5 equals 8. So 20 centimetres equals 8 inches. So we're going to convert kilometres to miles. So we're going to get given 8 kilometres. I'm going to find out how many miles there are. And we know that the conversion factor between kilometres and miles is 1.6. So 8 kilometres so it would be 8 divided by 1.6. Let's use our calculator. 5. So 8 kilometres equals 5 miles. And lastly we have inches to metres. Now in every metre there are 39 inches, so our conversion factor is 39. And as we know, if we go from the smaller unit to the larger, we divide by the conversion factor. So let's see what we'd get if we were given 90 inches. So 90 divided by a conversion factor of 39. Let's have a look on our calculator. Oh, that's a nice big decimal number. We'll just do it to one decimal place. So 90 inches equals 2.3 meters. So now we're going to look at some worded examples. Example 1. Convert 2.55 hours into hours and minutes. Now this one's quite a tricky one, because what we're doing is converting a decimal number into hours and minutes. This can trip a lot of people up. It's important to remember that this is 2.55 hours, not 2 hours and 55 minutes. So 2.55 hours. We've got 2 hours already. Now we need to know how many minutes the 0.55 is. So we times 0.55 by our conversion factor of 60 minutes in an hour, and that equals 33. So the answer is 2.55 hours equals 2 hours and 33 minutes. Okay, let's have a look at another example. A car travels at a speed of 60 miles per hour. Approximately, what is 60 miles per hour in kilometres per hour? So if we remember our conversion factor between miles and kilometres, that's 1.6 kilometres. So 60 miles per hour equals 60 times 1.6, which gives you an answer of 96 kilometres per hour. So in summary, a conversion factor is a number that we use to either multiply or divide so we can change one set of units to another. When converting from a small unit to a larger one, we divide by the conversion factor. When converting from a large unit to a smaller one, we multiply by the conversion factor. I've been Mr. Maths. Please like and subscribe.